Hey, this is Herald sports writer Manny Navarro, joined again by my comrade here, Andre C. Fernandez, on the campus of North Miami High School. You can see Pioneers back there practicing, getting ready for their big playoff game this week. First one since 1999, playing Columbus this week.
Story of the year to me in Dade County. I mean, at the beginning of the year, we weren't sure how good this team really was, had some doubts, but honestly, who would have thought we'd be here, right now, first week of the playoffs. Could have said 10 different schools. It wouldn't have been this one. They go 9-1. And this school, like I've said, this is probably the fifth time I've said this on the show, it really needed this kind of a season just to lift the whole athletic program, and it's good to see.
I put a big smile on Larry Bluestein's face, that's for sure. All right, let's talk about last week. Huge game, huge victory for Deerfield Beach last week, knocking off St. Thomas Aquinas. They're going into the playoffs unbeaten. This looks like a much better team, Dre, than they did a few weeks ago when you saw them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I saw them, Aaron McNeil, their starting fullback, running back, guy that helps pave the way and a good ball carrier for them. He was out. Their defense wasn't quite at full strength. It was one of those games, district game on a Saturday against Coral Springs. This I knew was going to be a better indication of how good they really are going up against Aquinas. At full strength finally. McNeil was there. Powell is unbelievable. We've covered that. But this defense for Deerfield has gotten a lot better. They have some playoff experience already, and they know how to handle themselves. I mean, let's be honest, that Deerfield Beach field isn't exactly – it's by far one of the worst I've seen, the condition that it's in. And it was a monsoon pouring the entire game. Yeah, that game, forget the week. The entire game it was pouring, and they handled it well and beat a very good Aquinas team. And right now, honestly – I know we've had Miramar pegged there, and for good reason, but Deerfield also has a legit chance in 8A.
Two undefeated teams entering the playoffs in 8A in that region there. How about St. Thomas Aquinas? What does this say about them? Two losses this year, yeah. And these are the defending state champs.
Yeah, I mean, it says. I mean, last year we were kind of doubting them too. I mean, remember? I mean, your famous call. You're the only one that said they were going to be Manatee. Credit that you saw that, but They seem to struggle early in the season. Now this hits them in Week 11 is a little surprising. This is usually the time where they're on the upswing and getting better. I think they have to find the way. I think Wade Freebeck has to find the way to maybe play a little bit more, get a little more consistent and in sync with his receivers. I mean, granted, it was raining like crazy. The field is a mess. But he could run into that again. You never know. And they have a road trip potentially in round 3 at Dwyer. Who knows how tough that's going to be. But if they run the football well, their defense is going to be fine. I wouldn't count Aquinas out just yet. Speaking
of the rain, Andre, you were in another monsoon Saturday night.
I feel like I couldn't get away from it.
Central knocks off University School, convincing fashion, 28-3. Yeah. Two losses now for University School. This team, what did you pick up on this defense?
Again, I mean, it's a talented defense. There's no doubt about it. But glaring deficiency in both games to me was they can't stop the run. And this is the type of thing that they may face again against Booker T. Granted, Booker T, more of a balanced offense. You're going to see Treon throw the ball more, his athleticism making plays. But, I mean, they got mashed by Manatee for 3 quarters after they took the lead. This time they couldn't take the lead because Central didn't let them at the beginning like the other time. And Yerby and Cook just pounded them. So unless they find a way to shut that down. I mean, I think it's still important against Booker T because if you shut down Booker T's running game, you'll force Treon to do everything, and we saw that happen in Las Vegas when they played Bishop Gorman, and they almost had a chance to win. So it's a big problem. Can they fix it in 2 weeks? For their sake, I hope so.
Sobel in Broward County, Ely, 50. Dillard still hasn't scored yet.
Yeah.
What was that?
That was out of nowhere. I mean, even like Rudy was at that game. We were all following it on Twitter, and we just couldn't believe how lopsided. Ely winning the game, I could grant you that, but 50-0. I mean, at this point, I don't know what to make of Dillard because the 0-2 start they looked bad. Then they had a great 7-game run. Now this, I mean, I think they could still possibly turn it around, but they're the hardest team to predict right now going into the round 1.
What about Ely? I mean, that was an impressive performance.
They definitely are. I mean, I think they've got it together now. The 0-4 start, they're healthy. Everything's clicking right now, and it's a good time because they're in that same tough 7A region where even West Boca in the first round is no slouch.
Coral Gables Southwest. Gables knocks the Purple Pride out of the unbeaten ranks, but it was a tight game.
It was. I think it was the depth, to be honest, because Coral Gables we've made a lot about Greg Howell, deservedly so, but Greg Howell didn't even play in the second half. They brought out Mike Keno, a sophomore running back, who's probably going to be heard from a lot over the next couple of years. The kid is good. That Gables defense, 3 interceptions of a very good quarterback in Dre Pickett-White for Southwest. Mark Whitten had a couple of them. And this Gables team is deeper than a lot of people think and has a very good chance to go far in 8A.
Of course, South Dade wins the battle on Lucy Street, beating Homestead.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, the passing game there. Khalil Render, I know, was dealing with some family issues, which inspired him in that game. It was good to see because Render's had a good year, one of the better quarterbacks in the county, and it shows you when South Dade's offense is clicking, they're hard to beat.
That wraps it up for the regular season. It's playoff time, baby.